Have you ever dreamed about going to exotic places, like the ones you see in movies that are out of this world? Places like these. Well, would you believe me if I told you that the clips we just showed you are real places on Earth? Hello everyone, and welcome to World IQ. Today, we will be taking you on a virtual adventure that will make you curious. You'll want to watch until we reveal our top pick. Let's get it! Number 15. Rainbow Mountain, Peru. According to their website, Rainbow Mountain, Peru, also known as Vatnajkull, is the fastest growing tourist attraction in Peru, followed by Huacachina Desert Oasis. The mountain is made up of 14 different colorful minerals, and as recently as 2013, the mountain was not visible as it was permanently covered in snow. The word Vatnajkull originated from Peru's native tongue, Quechua, which means colored mountain. Did you know that llamas and alpacas can be seen dotted all along the route to Vatnajkull? The temperatures here drop below zero at night, so you might want to avoid trekking here at those temperatures. The weather is unpredictable. 1 second you battle the scorching heat of the sun, the next you are dealing with rain. Hey, if you hate walking, you can rent a horse at any point on the way. You might be wondering if it does look like the pictures. To tell you honestly, no, they don't look like that in the pictures. They look so much better. I've been there once, and the trek was challenging, but once you get to experience its beauty, it's much worth it. It's best to go there on a tour package, so you're with people. To know more about it, you can check out their website. Number 14. Lenso Maranensis National Park in Brazil. Recently, everyone was raving over dune, but have you tried to visit one? Honestly, I think one should visit a dune once in their life. And Lenso Maranensis National Park in Brazil is the perfect place to make your trip unforgettable. First, you need to go to São Luís and a 4-hour drive to this majestic place. Lenso Maranensis has a white dune. It's almost shining because it was complemented by the midnight blue lakes. This is a result of different rainwater lakes in different seasons and the formation of dunes and swept sands. The dunes are so smooth. It is almost like a bedsheet, which is the meaning of the name Lenso Maranensis in Portuguese. It has a 50-kilometer inland and a 70-kilometer coast, a perfect scenery of water and land come together. The trip starts before dawn to avoid heat waves during the daytime. There are many options to explore this magical place. One is to travel it by foot and just bask in the sun. Another one is to travel by fours or using 4x4 cars, quad bikes, and even horses to get the full dune experience. Flights, buses, and accommodations in this place are easily accessible, so make sure to book your trip ahead to avoid the hassle. It is better to explore it in cooler weather, or from June to August to avoid heat stroke while exploring the dune. Number 13. Lake Natron in the Great Rift Valley, Tanzania. Do you remember that story in the Bible where the water turned to blood? Well, in Tanzania, you can visit one that looks just like that. Lake Natron has bright pink waters, but other areas are crimson red, so it's like a lake of blood. This type of bacteria flourishes in soda lakes and often creates algae blooms. It has a high concentration of cyanobacteria, which is toxic to the nervous system and livers of most organisms. However, some animals aren't harmed by the cyanobacteria. They're thriving because it's their food source. Nature is just amazing. What's toxic to some is the food for others. If you do consider visiting this place, you can either go solo or travel with a tour operator. Either way, visiting Lake Natron, Mount Aldonyolenge, you rent the services of the local Maasai guides, so you're supporting the local economy. Number 12. The Sea of Stars on Vadhu Island. Have you watched Avatar? Remember that the ground glows when you step on it. Would you believe me if I told you that you can experience something similar? Well, you definitely can. There is this bioluminescent beach on Vadhu Island in the Maldives. It's a beautiful phenomenon caused by phytoplankton called Lingalodinium polyedrum. The movement of the waves makes them glow and shimmer, hence the name Sea of Stars, because it looks like the night sky, but like you're stepping on it. Vadhu Island is located around 5 miles from the Malé International Airport, so getting there is not much of a hassle. It's such a romantic movie scene where you can dine al fresco beside the Sea of Stars. There are a lot of great restaurants in the Maldives, so you have plenty of options. Remember though, that it's tricky to see the Sea of Stars because they're not around all the time. The locals say the best time to see them is in the late summer. Number 11. Sovakshwa, aka the lake above the ocean in the Pharaoh Islands. Have you ever heard of a lake on top of an ocean? It sounds fictional, right? But since this list is about mind-blowing places that are unbelievable, you may want to explore the floating lake on Vagar Island. Lake Leidesvaden has an area of 3.6 square kilometers. With the right perspective, it'll create an optical illusion that'll make your jaw drop. I mean, it already looks fantastic in pictures and clips. What more if you see it in real life, right? Getting there might be a bit of a challenge. It's located between Scotland and Iceland in northeast Atlantic. The journey by boat takes 35 hours. You can take the ferry to Tórshavn on Smyrline's MS Norrøna. However that's pronounced. I don't want to offend the locals. But anyway, did you know that Faroe Islands is a self-governing nation under the external sovereignty of the Kingdom of Denmark? They have a population of 50,000. They have a well-educated population with free primary and secondary schooling. Number 10. The Pamukkale thermal pools in the ancient city Hierapolis, Turkey. Nicknamed the Cotton Castle, the solidified white calcium thermal pools naturally cascade down the side of a hill. Did you know that this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site? If you don't know UNESCO, it means United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. They're the ones responsible for building a culture of peace and protecting all sorts of natural wonders. Plenty of tourists travel to the Pamukkale site on a day trip from the resorts surrounding the place. There are a lot of things to do and explore in Pamukkale and Hierapolis than just visiting the thermal pools. You can explore the site of the ancient ruins, paddle in the mineral travertine pools, swim in Cleopatra's pool, and visit the Pamukkale Museum. Enjoy the view and relish this natural wonder. Number 9. The Giants Causeway in Northern Ireland. Have you ever wondered how these places just happen to exist in our world? The shape of the stones here looks perfect, that it would make you think it was man-made. But it's not. Did you know that this is Northern Ireland's only UNESCO World Heritage Site? This natural beauty is almost 60 million years in the making. The huge rifts created in the Earth's surface produced cracks, and then came all the molten rock and lava. The science is pretty complicated, and it's best to ask the experts, so let's focus more on getting there. Depending on where you are in the world, the difficulty of getting there varies, but the easiest would be to catch a train from Belfast or Londonderry to Coleraine, and then get the bus Ulstervus Service 172. You can walk to the stones free of charge, but the on-site car park is reserved for those availing the visitor experience, which includes guided tours throughout the entire day. Number 8. Cavernas de Marmol, or the Marble Caves in Chile. I know a lot of you have seen Frozen, and remember that time when she went inside a cave that was so beautiful? Well, what if I told you that there's something like that in Chile? Unlike the other cave networks in the world, the marble caves have enchantingly blue hues that are just out of this world. The Cavernas de Mármol is a 6,000-year-old stunning cave network, washed with deep blue waters. The area is most beautiful in the early spring, when the ice is melting and the color is enchantingly turquoise. The best time to visit would be between September and February. Travel blogs recommend going early in the morning or late afternoon to avoid the crowds. Now, I would recommend that you hire or contact a travel agency when visiting the place, so you avoid the unexpected headaches of travel and make your trip more convenient. But if you want to be more adventurous, you can go on your own by plane. The closest airport there is Balmaceda. Number 7. Black Forest, Germany. Are there any Middle-earth fans here? You know those people who love The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, elves, dwarves, those kinds of lore? Well, taking a trek in Germany's Black Forest will certainly make you live your fantasy. You might be wondering, why is that on the list if it's just a forest? We already know forests exist. What's unique about this one, apart from it looking untouched by humans, is it's called Black Forest because even during the day, when the sun is up and about, the large expanse of coniferous woods can black out the sun in patches. So it's always dark there. The scenery is just breathtaking. Did you know that the Black Forest is home to cuckoo clocks, ruined castles, and quaint towns? The town features a museum and a statue dedicated to Nobel Prize-winning novelist Hermann Hesse. What's even more interesting is that the area boasts 8 Michelin-starred restaurants. It's the perfect place to unwind and live your Middle-earth fantasy while enjoying the perks of modern-day living. Number 6. Trees cocooned in spiderwebs, Pakistan. Have you ever heard the description, beautiful disaster? This next attraction is the perfect example of this description. Trees cocooned in spiderwebs in Pakistan. In 2010, Pakistan experienced rainfall that is almost 10 years' worth of rain, poured down in less than a week. This phenomenon caused spiders and other insects to seek shelter on higher grounds. After the downpour, people started to notice that the trees have the sticky net covered in them, and realized that it was covered in webs. Many stated that it was not just spiders that caused this to the trees, but other insects that can release webs. This scenario is not just eye-catching scenery, but it also helped the villages to reduce the spread of malaria, because many insects are sheltering in the trees and eating malaria-carrying mosquitoes. The trees are slightly haunting, but beautiful too. It looks like cotton candy for Halloween. Number 5. Heart Reef, Whitehaven Beach, Whitsunday Islands, Queensland, Australia. This one is a bit different because it's all in one place, but there are 2 attractions here that are worth mentioning. Would you believe me if I told you that there's a reef shaped like a heart? It's not even made up. Located in Hardy Reef, you need to ride a helicopter or a seaplane to experience it and see its shape. Heart Reef has been the site of many proposals and a lot of romantic gestures. I mean, who wouldn't, right? If this place doesn't make you feel in love, I don't know what will. I know. A beach? Why is that on the list? Well, this isn't just any other beach, you know. It's an award-winning beach that stretches over 7 kilometers and boasts brilliant white silica sand that is among the purest in the world. It's a beach that changes its shape depending on the tides. There are also a lot of things to do here. They have plenty of resorts and outdoor activities that will surely complement your stay. Number 4. The Kawa Ijen volcano in Java, Indonesia. Now, this is one of those places that resemble those toxic planets in sci-fi movies, where even the steam can melt your face. Well, the Kawa Ijen is mainly known for its sulfur mining. The gas temperatures here reach 195 and 240 degrees Celsius, and sometimes can even rise to 600. I mean, talk about hot, right? At night, you can see the unique sulfur fire. Just look at that thing burn. When you talk about fire, it's usually red and orangey, right? It looks beautiful, but it's also dangerous. The lake here is the biggest acid lake in the world. Travel guides say that the Kawa Ijen lake is very accessible from Bali and other parts of Indonesia. If you ever want to visit the lake, you can include it in your Bali itinerary as a road trip, combined with Mount Bromo. If you ever watch The Avengers, the blue fire looks like Thanos wielding the Power Stone about to destroy the planet. It looks like it, right? Well, before we give you our top 3 picks, these places are truly magical, right? Which one is your favorite so far? If you haven't picked one yet, maybe the last 3 will make up your mind. Number 3, Eternal Flame Falls in Orchard Park, New York, USA. Would you believe me if I told you that there is a waterfall with a burning fire beside it? Doesn't make much sense, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that when you pour water on fire, it dies. Scientists believe that the fire burns because of gas pockets from the hot shale bedrock. But there's a whole science debate about it. It's mysterious and one of a kind. The best time to visit is early spring because winter makes it dangerously slippery. Admission here is free. Before getting there, the trek will lead you through a hardwood forest, a sandy glacial terrain, and a beautiful hemlock grove. The closer you get to the falls, the smell. It's going to smell a lot like rotten egg. This is due to the seepage of organically rich Hanover shale. So if you ever do consider visiting here, it's not just the waterfalls that you will get to experience, but also the park. Number 2, Underground River, Palawan. Now, let's talk about this destination belonging to the new 7 wonders of the world. The Underground River in Palawan, or the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, PPS-RNP. It features an underground river stretching 8.2 kilometers with different rock formations, stones surrounding the cave, and an alluring cave inside. The underground river brings pride to Puerto Princesa and the Philippines because of how the people manage to conserve this natural heritage, and also bring global attention by being part of the World Heritage Sites on December 4, 1999. It has at least 11 minerals discovered inside the cave, a million-year-old Miocene-age Sirenia fossil, rock formations that are egg-like, and various crystals such as limestone or karst. You can travel in different ways, land, water, or air to Palawan, and get to Puerto Princesa from Sabang through jeepneys, buses, or a van. It is best to travel to the place from November to May or during the dry season. Check this out. Number 1, Vatnajkull National Park in Iceland. The next one is where fire meets ice, a destination straight from a video game. The Vatnajkull National Park in Iceland. According to their website, this is produced by a natural phenomenon of different layers of the earth colliding, volcanic eruptions, and floods. This place is responsible for 14% of the territory of the whole of Iceland. It has 10 central volcanoes, and 2 of which are the most active ones in the country, and 8 are subglacial. The landscape has various rifts that have ice caps that interact with volcanoes, producing the breathtaking scenery. The Jökulrup is the most spectacular one, caused by a sudden flow of glaciers during an eruption. This continuous scenario produces different river systems and sander plains and evolving canyons. It has been present ever since the Ice Age. The glacier formations and glacier lagoons are the main attractions between November to March. Self or guided tours are available in the area. Just make sure to stay for a while to enjoy the majestic area in Iceland. that's it for this video. Share your thoughts with us down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope this improved your world IQ.